All right. I love your work. Yada yada yada. Compliments. All right. So you know.
I love your work too.
No,
I love your work also. I like your work also.
Yeah, slow down on the compliments.
Yeah, just slow down. That's okay.
All right. I mean, what can I say hasn't been said? You guys are awesome. Like, you know, as a wannabe voice actor, I'm jealous you guys can do 1,000 different characters, you know, and that's kind of part of the question I want to ask is, when you got, you know, how does the process go of you figuring out how you're gonna do the voice for your character? Do you see a visual of your character and then the script, and then you go, okay, let's try this out, try this, try that, and directors say, how does that process go of just physically, of, you know, determining just physically what your character kind of sounds like?
Well, the first thing we do is we copy what you do. We try to sound like you, because you're totally different. You sound like nobody else. So what we do is we listen to what everybody else is doing, and I try to get that tone, and if I get a character that looks like that, I'm going to do that character, and I'm going to use your voice. You just made me a lot of money.
A slightly more academic answer to the question
yes.
is, you know, I think art, like life, is collaborative, and if you get clues and if you get hints, a writer has labored over the breakdown for this character, and he's given you a wealth of information, sometimes more in animation even than live action, because it's all theater of the mind that hasn't been drawn yet. Then an artist comes into the equation. He gives you 1,000,000 more clues. Visually, you see a rendering, unless it's something that's being, you know, dubbed after it's made. That's all you get is 2 dimensions, and you're asked to supply the 3rd dimension. So if you're smart, if you're gifted, and if you want to use your skill set, you honor those things that you've been given in the way of clues, stir them around, and figure out, you know, through your reference of voices is not an accurate description. They're characters that you access. They're not voices that you access, but those characters have a voice. So the goal in an audition is not only to surprise them on the other side of the glass, having taken in all those clues, but also to surprise yourself. So you're not so preset in what you bring in that you're not open to change, because I guarantee you, no matter what you bring in, they won't just say, that's it. They'll say, what if you this, what if you that? So there's a lot of fine-tuning in the audition process.
And the physical look of the character is very important. I teach voice animation, have since the 80s. And if a character comes through that has an underslung jaw, I tell my students, work with that character. So if it has an underslung jaw and the character sounds like this, then this is what you should possibly try, because that's what that underslung jaw is going to sound like. Or if the character has a mouth on the corner of his mouth, then that's what the character is going to sound like. You can't sound any other way. If the character is an old person and you see this drawing of this feeble character, and you take out its teeth, then possibly the character sounds like this because he doesn't have any teeth. So you use that, and then you also might use the name of the character, like I guess for Grimlock, which is such a strong character and a big character, and he's got great pipes. Nothing on my body has dropped yet, so I don't have those pipes. So what's important is for Scrapper, I had to go somewhere in this area over here. For Swoop, obviously, I wanted to go even more. So the name of the character also helps. And then when you get what we did when we were on session, there are a lot of characters coming down the pike, and as actors, we were allowed to do 3 characters within the framework of one show. Then if you have when the second show came up, if our main character was there and 2 new characters were introduced, they would just say, Mike, you're going to do this, or Greg, you're going to do this, or you're going to be doing that. And if the name of the character was helpful, that's good. But we also had to now change our dialects, because we have you have pipes. You have a certain pipe that's yours. You have to know how to make that work. So physically looking at the drawing, the artwork, and then looking at the name, that kind of helps you. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Good, okay, good. I'm sorry I did that, but go ahead.
We're all in the fun. Thank you, guys.
Our pleasure.